Welcome back to the studio. So I have some news for you. After all the things that have been going on, I am finally retaking the art, play and paint sessions. So you'll be happy to know that there are several dates set out for different play and paint parties. We can either get together in a therapeutic sense where we will gradually go through something and paint, play with colors. There goes the aeroplanes again. They've been flying so much that I can hardly do voiceovers or any video editing without having aeroplanes in the background. So I'll be speaking a little bit louder, which isn't my regular therapeutic voice. So today I wanted to show you how we can play, and with something small, just a little A5 size, nothing too intimidating, and a few dot colors on a watercolor sheet so that you don't have to have your own watercolor supplies. When you come to class, you can literally use that while we're busy, and I'll give you a small guideline to follow, but basically you are going to play with watercolors, see how the water flows, and throughout the process I'll be telling you a little bit of a story that relates to how we can easily live our lives and come out better at the end, So without further ado, let's go and see what I've got on the table today. Okay, so on the table we have the Play and Paint Watercolor Fun 8 color swatches. Wow, what a mouthful. And then underneath that is a recent Sharpie drawing I did from a wax flower I saw out in the park. Next to that I have the piece we are going to work on, blotting paper, and the sheet that comes with the class, just as a little bit of a warm-up. So what we'll need is a paintbrush, water, a rag or a what's it called, blotting tissue, and of course the swatching chart. We'll wet the paintbrush and dip it straight into that first green. As we move along, you can test out each of your colors, put them in their own little block, and of course mix them up any way you like. I'll show you a few ideas that I came up with. Now the secret with watercolor is that you need water, and the pigments will go a long way because these are artist grade paints. They aren't the chalky little blocks that you get in the kids set. They are highly pigmented and will go for a while. You'll be able to paint another project even after this one. Now I'm holding the camera with my one hand and literally painting through the lens. So I'm deliberately making blotchy marks and playing along just to show you that we don't have to do everything perfect. We're not coloring in, we're playing with watercolor. I'm also not concerned about playing and discovering new mixtures and tipping in extra color where I can. When we play with watercolor and allow it to move on the page, we are experimenting and seeing how many possibilities there are and what's available to us. Now there are times when our colors mix together and they look dirty and muddy, and that is okay. If you don't like it, take your blotting towel and blot it up. Sop up that water and just begin again. There are no mistakes. It's just a learning experience. Hope I'm not making you dizzy in the process. So hang in there. We are getting to the good part, I promise. Okay, you get the hang of it. Let's paint. We can add things. No rules, no expectations, no outcome, no planning. We are just experimenting and playing and having a little bit of fun. Color over the lines if we want. Every now and then I forget to look up when I speak, and my voice sounds kind of mumbly in the background. So forgive me when I have these weird sounds coming out of my mouth. And remember, you can either mix on that little palette on the separate piece of a mixing palette. What was I thinking? Or let the paint play into the shapes where you've put previous colors. You'll see that the watercolor stays wet for quite a while. That will give you the opportunity to play along. Allow the brush to touch other areas so that the paint can interact with newer colors or with whatever you've placed down. Now, the reason why I chose a smaller piece to work on is so that we don't feel overwhelmed and we are not expecting a great, huge piece of art. We are merely celebrating the fact that we can sit down for a few moments and get out of our minds and be a little bit expressive. You know that color actually helps our visual perception, and it also, certain colors can calm you down. I have to admit, these vibrant, happy colors are making me smile. So I don't know about you and which ones you are going to choose. You can absolutely fill in every millimeter of this sheet, but you can also leave blank spaces. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do will be good. Watercolor is just so much fun, and it's really portable and easy and works fantastic in a sketchbook. Oh, can you hear those aeroplanes again? Hope you're not dizzy as I'm moving this camera way too much. These flowers in the corner actually make me think about nasturtiums. I don't know if it's the color or their shape or what it is, but I like it. These colors are just delicious and so easily activated. Just the touch of a brush puts some pigment on that point and it lays down beautifully. And even at times when I'm dipping my brush into other colors or touching other colors, they do blend, but also I'd rather call it mingling, instead of blending, because blending implies that they make a new color, whereas these sort of push and pull each other until they settle down. Now, I don't know if you knew this about me, but after my hairdressing career, I decided to become a therapeutic art coach, therapeutic, art life coach, art therapy, art therapist. I don't know what it's called. But what I do know is that it has afforded me the possibilities of helping others find joy in life. And that has been one of the most amazing journeys I've ever been on. I've met people, I've hugged people, and I've seen them go from worried, stressed, anxious, and depressed to finding little joyful moments in every single day. We sometimes just have to get out of our own minds and let go of our worries. And art therapy is the perfect modality for that. Now you'll notice that I like painting, and I have quite a few painting classes, or shall we say painting sessions. I'm not an art teacher, but I do teach art, if you know what I mean. I believe that art is accessible to everybody. From the day that we were in kindergarten, primary school, or up until the stage when somebody else convinced you that you are not creative. I want you to go right back to that place and reconnect with your inner child and play in any creative way possible. Because when we play, we actually learn so much quicker, and there's no stress involved. We are activating our imaginations and pushing out into the world a little bit of who we are. So creativity is something you do have. And whether you are going to call it art, creative play, or play and paint, doesn't matter. What does matter is that you are having a good time. There's way too many stressful things in our lives. We deserve some time off playing just for the sake of playing. Too many serious things going on, and too many worries hanging on our shoulders. So let go a little bit and have fun with colors. And grab your favorite color and see where you can dunk it in. So, while that's drying, we can begin to draw. Oops, you didn't see that. Hang on, I'm going to make you dizzy again. So this time we are taking thicker, more concentrated paint and going to draw just right over what we've already painted. And you're going to have light pressure on your brush so that that tip can work for you. So grab any color you want and let's start outlining or drawing on top of our page. Gradually, as the colors start to dry, you'll be able to carve out your shapes that much better. And by now, we are way past beginner stages because you've already nearly filled up this page. And because you've nearly filled up this page, I can confidently say that you are letting go of your stresses for the day. So, can you see how beneficial these play and paint sessions are? And all the more because we are doing it effortlessly. This will give it a little bit of definition. And it doesn't matter. You can literally drag that brush right through wet paint and collect a bit of the other colors and let them mix in together. Fun, remember? If you can keep this one phrase in mind, there are no rules. You know, for years, I tried to follow every single art rule and concept and book method, but none of it made me happy until the day I figured out that being more expressive and playing actually brought me more joy. And I can tell you now that every single page in my sketchbook has been done because of joy. And I can take that joy and create more joy in the form of wallpaper or any other design, actually. The idea is to get out of your own way and forget about the rules and come to the art party with an open mind and a willingness to play on the page. We are just having fun. I know I've said it a million times today. But us adults have forgotten what it means to be happy. Joy is an inside job. And although there are things outside of us that could make us happy or begin to tip that scale, joy is the only thing you can actually work on from within. We can literally create our own joy. And painting has done that for me. And I know it will do it for you. Now, at some point, we will have to take a break because we need to let this dry. And while we're going to wait for that to dry, we are going to make a cup of tea. Now, if you think I've been babbling on and on today, it's because I don't have a script. I am holding my phone in my hand and talking while I'm painting, while looking through the camera lens. So, excuse me if this is dragging on. But what we are going to do next will be in fast forward mode, as I need to give my arm a little bit of a break and also get my voice to rest for a few minutes. But I will tell you this. I'll prop the camera up and we'll get started. So we're not only going to use a Sharpie, we are also going to just define a few areas with a little bit of color pencil. Now, this step is completely optional and you don't have to do it, but I'm going to, as it's just part of my creative process, enhancing a little corner here and there and bringing back that childhood memory of playing with pencils. So after this, you'll only be looking at the faster, sped up versions of what I get up to. And by the end, you'll realize that you have had your 20 minutes worth of playtime. And that today, you are one step closer to finding joy. If you haven't found it yet, I'm sure it's closer than you think. And if this felt like a new addiction, you better be sure that you are going to replace an old one with the new one. And get rid of some baggage in your life. Now, I don't want to get too serious here, but this was a whole lot of fun, don't you think? If you're wondering how you can connect with me, go to Anso Designs and find your perfect date on the bookings tab. Now, unfortunately, I won't be able to go to everybody's homes, and not everybody will be able to connect with me face to face. But one thing is for certain: if you live near me, you are in for a treat when you book a play and paint session, because we are literally bringing back our inner child and having some creative fun together. All right, folks. Next thing is like this video and share it with your friends. Until next time, friends. Happy painting. Until then, bye.